A kidnapper comes running and quickly picks up a child, running away with him. The child's mother comes back with juice for him and sees that her child is gone. The mother shouts loudly, looking here and there. Then, her eyes fall on her child's toy. She picks up the toy and starts shouting loudly, "My child! My child! Where has my child gone? My child!" 25 years later, an old woman's bracelet falls from her pocket. Mala picks it up and says, Auntie, wait, look, you dropped your bracelet." Old woman, thank you so much. Mala looks closely at the bracelet and becomes worried. Old woman, what happened, child? Where did you get lost? Mala, it's very pretty. Where did you get it from? Old woman, child, I got it many years ago from my village, but why are you asking? Mala, returning the bracelet, says, it's very beautiful. That's why I asked. Taking the bracelet, the old woman says, thank you very, very much, and leaves. Mala starts thinking, this is exactly the same bracelet. Yes, exactly the same. I can never forget it. Then she quickly makes a call from her mobile. On the other side, Henry's phone rings. He answers and says, yes, tell me. Mala, the bracelet in your hand. Who gave it to you? Henry looks at his wrist. My mother tied this on me in my childhood, but why are you asking? Mala, yes, just now I saw exactly the same bracelet with an old woman. Maybe through this bracelet we can get some information. Henry, where are you right now? Mala, I'm right in front of the office. Henry, all right, I'm coming right now. Mala, okay. Henry, I wish this bracelet could help me somehow. The old woman is collecting bottles from the trash. Mala comes near and says, Auntie, you work so hard in the sun all day. Here, I brought you food and water. Old woman, thank you so much. Mala takes the old woman along and makes her sit on a bench. In the meantime, Henry also arrives there. The old woman tells her story to Mala. I was 14 years old when my parents got me married, and a year later I had a son, and my husband passed away. When my son was 7 years old, I don't know whether it was cruelty from the world or from God, but my son was separated from me and never returned. Someone told me that children who are taken away are made to beg, so I have been wandering from city to city like a beggar, hoping that maybe one day I will find my son. The old woman starts crying bitterly and says, he was the only support of my life. I suffer every moment without him. Hearing all this, tears come into Henry's eyes. Old woman, see, I have full faith in my motherhood. One day my son will definitely return to me. Mala nods in agreement. Henry wipes his tears and loudly says, Mother! The mother freezes when she sees him. Henry comes to his mother and kneels down. The mother quickly holds his hand and looks at the bracelet in his hand. Henry, your son has returned, mother. The mother hugs Henry while crying and says, where had you gone? Henry tells his mother how the kidnappers took him to another country and how he was taken away from his mother, and how, by his mother's prayers, he escaped from them and returned to his country with great difficulty. Henry further says, I longed for you day and night and searched for you. Mother, not a moment passed for me without remembering you and longing for you. Mala, we prayed day and night for you to be found and searched for you. Then the three of them leave happily together. Message: if a person's love is as pure and true as a mother's, then they will surely reach their destination. What's your opinion?